Will best court in the land will beg to differ. Tonight on Pandits Night, we discuss BBI's biggest test yet. But first, these are the stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, at least 25 governors endorse ODM leader Raila Odinga as Azimio la Umoja movement flag bearer and presidential candidate ahead of the August polls.
Committed ourselves to be the mobilizers for the campaigns for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga.
Also tonight, UDA party now wants the government to probe chaos that marred DP Ruto's rally yesterday at Jacaranda Gardens in Nairobi.
ODM has left no doubt that it intends to use acts of causing fear among our members and causing fear among Kenyans.
Plus, a legal showdown is expected tomorrow at the Supreme Court as the hearing of the Building Bridges Initiative appeal commences. And IEBC kicks off phase 2 of mass voter registration across the country.
Kura ndio silaha yako ya kujitafutia uongozi ambao we mwenyewe unatarajia kuwa nao.
Low turnout was experienced in all registration centers. Mini Mbesa is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. To our top story tonight, and at least 26 governors have endorsed ODM boss Raila Odinga's presidential bid. The governors who are meeting in Naivasha have vowed to work towards a Raila presidency. Willie Dennis Njiru begins our broadcast tonight.
Speaking after 2 days consultative forum that drew at least 25 governors from across the country, the county bosses pledged to support Odinga's 2022 presidential bid.
The entire devolution family, it is time to stand up for devolution. And we have also pledged that as we go back to our respective counties, we are going to ensure that we mobilize our people to the man.
Tofauti iko wazi. Mmoja ni mtu ambaye anaamini sana mfumo huu wa ugatuzi. Mwingine alijitokeza kimasomaso mwaka 2010 kupinga mfumo huu wa ugatuzi.
They have vowed to do out of their way in campaigning for Odinga's presidential bid. The governors reiterated that no one ought to entertain the illusion that devolution is entrenched enough not to be disbanded, adding that devolution faced no threats and was here to stay.
We have committed ourselves to be the mobilizers for the campaigns for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and we will take our respective poll positions in our counties.
There is no living person in Kenya or East Africa who has dedicated his services to liberate Kenya in the first and second liberation than Papa. There is no other candidate who has impressed the governors that devolution will live beyond even himself and beyond his period, forever and ever.
The leaders expressing that should instruments of power fall into the hands of antagonists who opposed devolution in the 2010 constitution could easily disband devolved units, thus history repeating itself.
One person who over the years never supported the constitution, not when we tried in 2005, not when we did it in 2010, and even now when we wanted to amend it in 2021. I mean, somebody must forever be always wanting to do things that are not right for this country. I want to ask Kenyans to be warned that there is a danger in electing one person, and that is William Samoei Ruto.
On political campaign focus, they expressed readiness to lead a people-driven crusade agenda, well aware that leaders embrace people and the diversity of their leaders.
Sisi tuelekea Canaan, wataka kurudisha sisi Misri. Tunasema la, mpaka tuendelee mbele. Tukiongea juu ya uchumi mashinani, ni ugatuzi. tukaongea juu ya kuboresha hali ya kilimo katika taifa letu, miundo msingi, tukaongea juu ya mambo ya maji, mambo ya stima, afya, elimu, kila kitu ni kule chini. Ndio hawa wako pale.
Tulipata habari kutoka duru za kuaminika kwamba mpango mmoja wa William Ruto ni kupiga vita ugatuzi. Na hii ndio sababu umeona magavana wasopungua 30 na wasokuwa hapa wamekuja kwa baba.
Reporting for TV 47 from Naivasha in Nakuru County, I'm Willie Dennis Njiro.
Elsewhere, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has embarked on the second phase of the mass voter registration that will take place in all the 1,450 county assembly wards across the country until the 6th of next month. And as Mike Kagwongo now reports, poor turnout characterized the first day of the exercise ahead of the August 9th general election.
Monday morning, Kenyans jumped on the opportunity to register as voters as the second and last phase takes off. The second phase offers yet another opportunity to eligible Kenyans to register as voters, get transferred from the current polling stations, or change their particulars, with the commission targeting to net 4.5 million voters. In Trans Nzoia County, the commission targets to register at least 116,148 voters as leaders embark on mobilizing residents to turn up in large numbers.
Tuamuke kuanzia siku ya leo, tuanze kushikana na wenzetu, tufike kwa kile kituo, we register as a good number so that tusaidike tusirudie makosa tuliyofanya.
Vijana wala ambao hawajisajili ama mtu yote ambaye hajisajili aweze kujisajili.
In Kiambaa constituency, Kiambu County, IEBC increased the number of biometric voter registration system equipment to speed up the exercise for eligible Kenyans to register. This as the poll agency denied rolling out the exercise during the first phase following court's petitions.
Wakati huo mwingine hatukupata nafasi kwa sababu watu wengi juu ya kesi ambao tulikuwa nayo kwa huo muda after by election tulikuwa nao hapa Kiambaa, lakini tunawahimiza wakaaji wa huku kwetu Kiambaa, tumezunguka, tumeona wamejaribu, wameanza kuamka.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka alongside his TSP counterpart Mwangi Kiunjuri are yearning for the higher numbers of voter registration compared to the first phase.
Najua vijana wengi walikuwa hana nia ya kuchukua kura, lakini ujue kura ndio silaha yako ya kujitafutia uongozi ambao we mwenyewe unatarajia kuwa nao.
Kama nyinyi hamtaenda kupiga kura kama vijana, haki yenu itasimamiwa na nani? Kwa sababu haki ya Mkenya inasimamiwa na kura yako.
In Meru County, the commission officials have opened that they are longing to inscribe more than 150,000 voters before the completion of phase 2.
To take this opportunity because this is the last one, and where the government is able to take the services closer to where they are.
The commission targets to net at least 4.5 million new voters in the second phase, with those residing outside the country given 15 days from January 21st, 2022 to register as voters. The commission will conduct the exercise in 12 countries, among them Burundi, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, South Africa, United Kingdom, Canada, USA, South Sudan, Qatar, UAE and Germany. During the first phase of the mass voter registration, IEBC admitted that it failed to achieve its target of adding 6 million new voters to its register after managing to register slightly over 1.5 million new voters. Unfulfilled political promises, societal fatigue occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, and lack of enthusiasm from the political class were blamed for the voter apathy witnessed during the first phase of the month-long mass voter registration exercise.
Yeah, you know, there are so many frustrations in life. If you look at the past elections and then how the promises have been, now unapata vijana wanakuwa promised in every election year. But after the election, when it comes to the reality, these things are not being fanyiki.
Tunasoma, tunangangana, na kupata kazi unakuja unapata bado ni shida. Kwa hivyo tunaona haina maana tuandikishe kupiga kura, lakini vijana wengi saa hii wameanza kujiandikisha.
The poll agency has structured the mobilization to target the youth and people living with disability in a bid to increase the numbers during this second phase. Mike Kagongo, TV 47, Nairobi.
Moving on, another legal battle is expected at the Supreme Court starting tomorrow all through to Thursday, when the Apex Court will be hearing the BBI Appeal. Each party will be given 45 minutes to make their submissions as Attorney General Kihara Kariuki tries to overturn the Court of Appeal's decision, which declared the BBI process as null and void. Josh Onsare tells us more.
The Supreme Court 7-judge bench sits for 3 days from Tuesday to Thursday to hear an appeal by the Attorney General on the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020. The Attorney General is challenging the decision of the lower courts that overturned the Constitutional Amendment Bill. Proponents of the bill have been running up and down to tie loose hands with a hope to overturn the process that declared the process null and void. During the 3-day sitting, the Supreme Court will hear the appeal filed by Attorney General Kihara Kariuki, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, and lawyer Morara Omoke. Last Friday, the court directed that only 2 counsel from each party will address the court. Each party will get 45 minutes to make their submissions. Among the issues that will be addressed include the basic structure doctrine that the AG has challenged, arguing that it is not applicable in Kenya and can only be altered through the primary constituent power. Kihara Kariuki has also challenged the argument that the president does not have the authority to initiate changes to the constitution. The question of multiple of single question is likely to come up during the sittings. In its ruling, the Court of Appeal had argued that a proposed referendum on multiple amendments of the Constitution can be submitted as a single question, a decision IEBC agrees with. The appellants also want the opinion of the Apex Court on whether the Constitution can only be changed by the 4 steps of civic education, public participation, constituent assembly debate, and a referendum, all in a sequence which are the basis that the judges of the lower courts declared the BBI bill process unconstitutional. Attorney General Kihara Kariuki, whose appeal was filed by Solicitor General Ken Ogeto, wants the Apex Court to overturn that decision and to declare that the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 complied with all requirements to warrant a referendum. Even as the country waits for the Supreme Court ruling on the constitutional amendment through BBI, experts say that there is no time for such amendment through the referendum as the country is busy preparing for the August 9th general election. Josh Onsare, TV 47, Nairobi.
Moving on, United Democratic Alliance leadership led by Deputy President William Ruto has strongly condemned violence witnessed during political rallies and meetings across the country, with the recent case being that at the Jacaranda grounds witnessed on Sunday. Vincent Karoki with the details.
The UDA leadership has today condemned the recent rise of poll chaos cases, mostly facilitated by the rowdy youths.
We are not buying threats, we are not buying blackmail, we are not buying intimidation. We know your track record of violence.
While speaking at the party headquarters here in Nairobi, the leaders and affiliated members of the party have pointed accusing fingers to the leaders and followers of the ODM party.
Well-orchestrated, violent, ugly scenes of stone throwing meted by hired ODM goons during Deputy President's rally at Jacaranda grounds in Nairobi.
Tumesikia kisingisio jana.
wakisema kwamba eti wana UDA ndio waliofuruga mkutano wao ili waweze kuhurumiwa na Wakenya. Ni dhahiri katika taifa letu kwamba mkutano unaoongozwa na naibu rais na wana UDA ndio unakusanyisha wananchi wengi katika mkutano wowote, na hatuwezi kuwa tunaweka siasa ya ndani kuharibu na kuumiza wafuasi wetu ambao wamekuja kutusikiliza. Hiyo itakuwa ni jambo la mtu ambaye ni pumbafu na hana akili kufanya namna hiyo, na sisi tuna akili na tuna mahono.
The recent case being that witnessed during Deputy President rally at Jacaranda grounds yesterday, and also a similar incident at Kitale, where MPs allied to the party were disrupted by police.
Mheshimiwa Kashagwa na waheshimiwa wengine wengi ambao ni washiriki wa siasa za UDA walikuwa wameenda kufanya mkutano wa viongozi pale. Bila sababu yoyote, polisi waliingia na kuwatawanya.
UDA Secretary General Veronica Maina has called on the Ministry of Interior to conduct investigation and take action in order to end violence, especially during this electioneering period.
Kenyans are watching to see whether the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who has previously publicly supported Honorable Raila Odinga's quest for presidency, will now drop his political hat and act to save Kenyans from this political intolerance. And this trend of intolerance and meting of violence in barazas and in rallies is not acceptable.
Cha ajabu ni kwamba mpaka leo hatujasikia mtu yeyote aliyeweza kushikwa au kukamatwa na kuhusishwa na hizo vitendo ambavyo havifai.
The leaders have called on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC to be on the lookout for leaders propelling politics of hate speech and violence.
We are looking up to the IEBC to acquit itself in the conduct that we have seen over this weekend and bring everybody to account, especially ODM political party in their involvement in Jacaranda yesterday.
Vincent Karoki, TV47, Nairobi.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Chota kuchota na Hetia Supermarket tena. Fanya shopping yako ndani ya Hetia Supermarket uweze kujishindia gari aina ya Nissan Cube.
Magari 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wewe unaweza jishindia hiyo gari.
Kuna magari 7 ya kushindaniwa, pikipiki zaidi ya 20 aina ya TVS, fridges, 32-inch TVs, woofers, microwaves, shopping voucher, school fees voucher zenye thamani ya zaidi ya shilingi 1200 na zawadi zingine kemkem. Chota kuchota na Hetia Supermarket tena. Promotion hii ilianza tarehe 26 Novemba mwaka huu hadi tarehe 25 Februari 2022 katika maduka ya Hetia Supermarket yaliyoko Nairobi, Eldoret, Kisumu, Bungoma, Kitale, Kakamega, Busia, Limuru, Naivasha, Thika, Chuka, Nyeri na Meru. Kumbuka, kushiriki ni rahisi kama 1, 2, 3. Unahitajika tu kufanya shopping ya shilingi 600 na zaidi ili upate raffle ticket. Jaza jina lako, namba ya simu, namba ya kitambulisho na ujibu maswali kwenye raffle. Pia ukifanya shopping yoyote ndani ya Hetia Supermarket, unaweza kujishindia zawadi za papo hapo. Grand Draws ya chota kuchota na Hetia Supermarket tena zitafanyika Februari 2022.
Raffle ticket yako unajaza majina, ID, alafu unaingia kwenye promotion ya chota kuchota na Hetia Supermarket. Hey! Ipi anaweza chota kuchota?
Hiyo hapana.
Oh.
Welcome to Hetia Supermarket, a world of choice.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari. You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's get to more news. And Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has refuted claims of disunity in the One Kenya Alliance movement. Musyoka has, however, hinted of a possible turn of events in the One Kenya Alliance movement after next Sunday's ANC's delegate conference, in which ANC's Musalia Mudavadi has hinted of a shocker. Kalonzo was speaking in Meru County during a press briefing where he confirmed his attendance of the ANC's Sunday meeting. He further condemned leaders propagating hate among citizens, urging the Director of Criminal Investigations to take action against those found guilty.
That's why we supported the amendment bill to the Political Parties Act. Sunday, God willing, all OCA members will be with Mudavadi as he gets a flagship of ANC. Naturally, lazima mimi tumetoa mambo mengi. Atatoa definitely. Namtakia kila laheri. Because he's speaking on behalf of Kenyans, on behalf of his party, on behalf of his OCA partnership.
Elsewhere, 2 students from Michuki Technical Training Institute drowned in River Mathioya after a happy tour turned sour. The 2 students, who are all alongside other students from the institute, are said to have been swept away by waters due to the poor state of a crossing bridge in the area. Zainab Mohammed reports.
It is a somber mood at Michuki Technical Training Institute after 2 students drowned in River Mathioya during an official school visit. According to those who witnessed the incident, the 2 who were alongside other students from the institute are said to have been swept away by water due to the poor state of a crossing bridge in the area.
It is a loss to one of our 2 brothers or comrades. Alikuwa nasoma. One of them alikuwa attachment shule. Mwingine alikuwa ameingia last year September intake. Walikuja tu venye watu wanatoka wanaenda picnic, wakuja kupiga picha. Our girl akaenda kuagua kwa mto. Then the other brother akamsaidia kumshika mkono. Baada kumshika juu ya force of the water ikakuwa mingi, kampigisha kambeba na mto.
John Dirango, the institute's principal, has called on the government to urgently construct a bridge in the area in order to avoid similar future occurrences.
Uchungu sana kwa moyo yetu. Tunasema hawa watoto watii hii mto. Hii mto imebeba watu wengi. Tungewaomba tu waitii juu hii imemaliza watu wengi.
Tulijaribu jana usiku ikawa ni gumu na tukaamkia leo asubuhi. Good luck, tumepata divers kutoka kwa disaster management Murang'a and they are on the ground. Tunasaidiana na tunatarajia tutapata hii miili by today.
Efforts to recover the bodies of the deceased are still ongoing, with county officers, residents and students working hand in hand in order to ensure the success of the exercise. Zainab Mohammed, T47.
Moving on, traders within Keroka Township that lies between Nyamira and Kisii counties are counting losses following heavy downpour being witnessed in the region. Merchants along the Kisii-Sotik highway are faulting the respective county governments for failing to unclog the drainage system.
Sisi kama watu wa pikipiki tumeshangaa sana kuona kama hii barabara ipitiki, kasi imesimama. Sasa tumeshindwa tufanye nini?
Kwa hivyo serikali tunaomba mtusaidie hii maji iweze kutoka hapa haraka iwezekanavyo ili kasi iweze endelea.
The problem in Keroka is there is a poor drainage system in Keroka, and there is a problem with the boundaries within Kisii and Nyamira.
Now, the government has pumped over 75 million shillings to boost infrastructure in secondary schools in Laikipia County ahead of the junior high CBC rollout next year. Speaking in Nyahururu sub-county during the launching of the construction of a classroom at Munyaka Secondary School, County Commissioner Joseph Kanyiri has lauded the progress by contractors. With a number of classrooms already doing the roofing, Kanyiri says a total of 101 classrooms, with each costing 788,000 shillings, were being constructed in the first phase.
We have a total of 1 classrooms to be built in Laikipia County, each classroom costing 788,000. If you multiply that, you find it's a lot of money the government is pumping in. It's around 79 point something millions. In Nyahururu County, sub-county where we are now, we have 31 schools benefiting in those classrooms. You multiply that, and this being a stimulus project, that is money going directly to the contractors, local contractors. Most of them are not the very big established construction companies, and none foreigner is involved or are Kenyans.
Haujui kama kuna mwanafunzi mwenzako analala huko ndani. Umeenda umechoma hiyo shule. Ya mwisho, anachobakia ndani, we have a school somewhere. Sasa hao wanafunzi wote wako ndani kwa sababu ya nini? Kama inaitwa nini? Si kuchoma shule. This year, yote inaitwaje? Also, alafu na nini ingine tena kwa sababu tunataka kufia ndani. I want to get it right. Namna hiyo. Ason na nini? Nada.
Moving on, Kenya and Hungary on Monday signed 4 bilateral agreements for cooperation in health, water, education and diplomacy at State House, Nairobi, shortly after President Uhuru Kenyatta and his visiting Hungarian counterpart János Áder led their respective delegations in bilateral talks. The Hungarian president is on a 4-day state visit to Kenya to streamline ties and collaboration between the two states.
His first visit after Hungary's diplomatic mission in 1964, Hungarian President János Áder has come with goodies, with improved education and agriculture being the key areas of focus.
As a result of this, we have decided last year to double the number of scholarships offered under the Stipendium Hungaricum, Hungarian government scholarship program for Kenyan students. 70% of the rural population are still making a living from farming. It is of utmost importance that they have access to the best possible quality of technologies and practices. There is a plan in Kenya in order to provide for this increased food supply needs to reclaim more than 1 million hectares of arable land in Kenya. You want to increase your capacities in animal husbandry in order to provide for your needs here in Kenya and for export.
President Uhuru Kenyatta insisting on the country's efforts to create a safe and secure environment for the continued collaboration between the two states in trade and investment.
And we will continue to be an anchor state and a guarantor of processes to end armed conflict and to attain political stability within our region and the wider Horn of Africa. We therefore call on the international community and Hungary to continue to partner with us through various multilateral platforms in efforts to find sustainable solutions to peace and security and the challenges that face our region.
To cement the strong bilateral ties crafted over the last 5 decades and fulfill its strategic desire to have more presence in Central and Eastern Europe, President Kenyatta has announced Kenya's plan to set up a diplomatic mission in Budapest at the earliest opportunity possible. Mariam Wacharo, TV 47.
Now, the Standard Chartered and Portland Communication conducted a 20-minute online survey of 15,649 respondents across 12 markets, between 30th of June and 26th of July 2021, with 12 countries being used as a sample per market, including big economies of United Kingdom, Singapore, United Arab Emirates, and Kenya, including others. According to the survey conducted by Stanchart, 43% of affluent and high net worth Kenyans have opted for cryptocurrency in order to diversify management options. The study, which was conducted among 1,598 respondents between June 30th and July 26th, 2021, noted that another 35% have moved towards short-term trading as more people explored new assets classes and strategies throughout the pandemic.
The global number here. 82% of affluent clients globally have actually made a change in terms of their future finances. That number in Kenya specifically is 96%. And this is very important because post-COVID, clients have actually looked at themselves and said, what do I need to do to actually change the way I manage my money? And three things have come up. One is that clients now are more focused on their personal health and well-being. That's number one. The second is that they said they are focused about their children's future and leaving a legacy. And third, but not least, is that they are focused about their retirement. They want a comfortable.
Let's get to sports, and the Ministry of Sports, in conjunction with all sports